somebody came in our Airbnb and stole the neighbor's car. Next morning, somebody in the driveway held the guest cousin at gunpoint.
We had a crazy party at the house. There was like 30 people inside of a place that really supposed to have like 10 people.
15 people came in, and this is for a 2-bed that hosted 5 people. 3 naked babies on a few of these people's hands. A woman was also naked. So cops came, 5 cops come, and they're like, yeah, this is a human trafficking situation.
But after they checked out, the cleaners went in there, they found like lube, all sorts of weird things.
Freaky shit.
Yeah, they were kind of doing some freaky shit up in there. I don't know what was going on exactly, but
and they trashed the entire place, and they kind of like destroyed something, the pipes, the plumbing and all that, so I had to close my whole house out for 3-4 months.
On Snapchat stories, some people were dancing inside my apartment. There were girls dancing on top of the bar, the island, in the kitchen.
all right, guys, so we're six-figure Airbnb hosts, and we're gonna tell you guys the craziest thing that's happened to us while we've been hosting. Matt, go ahead. Yeah, craziest thing that happened to you while I was hosting. Lost track of it, I guess we'll clip it. But so one night, guest text me. Somebody came in our Airbnb and took the guest purse, found out, stole the neighbor's car, probably the same person. I offered them a refund if they want to go home. It's Christmas. I figured like, I don't want them to feel unsafe. Next morning, somebody in the driveway held the guest cousin at gunpoint. So that was crazy, coordinating with detectives and everything. Yeah, that's crazy. That's pretty crazy. Dennis?
We had a crazy party at the house. We had to call out
Crazy was the party.
It got like, there was like 30 people inside of a place that really supposed to have like 10 people. My cleaner goes in there, they find like weed, different kind of drugs. Case is all messed up. It has balloons all over the place.
What kind of drug?
And it was like, I don't even know the drugs, but they didn't want attention.
It's like a 1-bed or 2-bed or something?
Yeah, it's like a 3-bedroom, 1 bathroom.
30 people?
30 people like came in.
Fit 30, we had.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then we had to, like the cleaner went in, they found out all this stuff. We had to dispute it, and we eventually made $1,000 on the dispute with Airbnb.
It's a good deal. Yes, I love when you get like disrespected.
Yeah,
like, in a parties,
happened.
run them the bag on them and the air cover claims.
Yo.
You know, because typically if a guest breaks something, but they're nice about it, like sometimes it's just the cost of doing business. You know, but when you have a party, now we're getting aggressive with it. You know, we're paying like the best guy. You know, if the thing's even a little damaged, you replace the whole thing, charge the guest for it. You know, that's what you get for being a disrespectful guest. Like, we're not going to take it easy on you. If breaks something, we're replacing it. We're not trying to fix it, you know?
Yes.
What about you guys? Any crazy stories?
Come on, Javor.
I had a guest book my Airbnb one time. It was an inquiry. I was 2 months into Airbnb hosting, and then I just see all the questions that would pop up from this guest that wanted to book my place. And I'm like, these are very suspicious questions.
Like what?
It would be stuff like, hey, is this place secure enough for like, for like police or security officers not to be able to get in if anything were to happen? And I'm just like,
That's that one. That crazy. That's
Crazy.
that's so I was just, no, but it was like suspicious. I said it was suspicious. And I'm like, no, but I was like, I'm 2 months into hosting, I need money for rent. So I accepted that booking right away. I checked the Ring camera to make sure, because I was always checking my Ring cameras to see what type of guests would come in, like how many, if they're following the rules. 15 people came in, and this is for a 2-bed that hosted 5 people. 3 naked babies on a few of these people's hands. A woman was also naked, and there was like a...
Walking through the front door naked.
You saw all that? You saw all
The
that?
hallways?
Yeah, this was an apartment complex.
Did you call the police?
I called the cops right away.
Somebody else's Ring camera probably
Before
saw
I
that
actually
too.
called the cops, I called up my boy. I was like, yo, we got to get these people out. We got to kick them out. So I called them. We pulled up to the place, and inside, there's only 3 people in there. The rest of the people are gone somehow. And I'm like, I found drugs in there. There's needles everywhere. And 3 of the people that were in there were just women that were dressed. But it was scary as shit. I saw like trash bags all over the place, and my place was already like smoked up with ashes and smoke. I was like, me and my boy can't handle this. They can't even speak English. So then I called the cops. The cops came, 5 cops come, and they're like, yeah, this is a human trafficking situation. They know about this crap. So then they wrote these people up, arrested every single person, and I don't know what happened to the kids. But I left the premises, and my landlord didn't find out shit.
No, nothing?
Nothing.
It was a small apartment complex?
It was like 24 units.
That's pretty crazy. I actually had something similar happen to me.
It was GTA, literally.
Shit, sounds great. I actually had something similar happen to me at one of my places. I had this guy book the property. I saw on his name, he was like from Miami or something. But I noticed on the Ring camera, no guy showed up. It was just like 3 girls.
Yeah.
So I noticed that they were coming in, but like it was like a lot of in and out activity. And then I would notice like guys coming to the door every 30 minutes and then kind of leaving. I saw like massage tables coming in and out. I mean, you would kind of make your own assumptions on what was going on in there. But after they checked out, the cleaners went in there. They found like lube, all sorts of weird things.
Freaky shit.
Yeah, they were kind of doing some freaky shit up in there. I don't know what was going on exactly, but you were how to make the conclusion yourself. That's crazy.
And when I left, when the police took care of everything, I'm outside. I see 2 guys just taking a picture of my car and driving off, like the license plate. I'm like, what?
Oh,
the
no.
fuck is out here?
Cooked.
Because I remember I told you guys there was 15
Bad guys or cops?
No, these are bad guys.
This is part of the assuming bad guys.
This is part of the
I gotta assume, these girls, I don't know.
So yeah, because I told you guys there was 15 guests that Richie walked in, and when me and my boy pulled up, there was like 3 women in there. So what happened to the rest of the people?
Damn. What you got, James?
So I started Airbnb. I picked up crib in Phoenix, Arizona. I had a pool, 4 bedroom, 3 bathroom, nice fucking house. I got rent for $3,700 and projected to make almost $130K for this house. So what happened was we had these guests that were staying for a month and they trashed the entire place and they kind of like destroyed something, the pipes and plumbing and all that. So I had to close my whole house out for 3-4 months. And I was like, yo, what do? I'm gonna have enough money for rent and whatnot. So I had proper insurance then at that time. So I made the claim and I made like almost $60,000-$70,000 on insurance just to pay the house, pay its cost of living and everything.
That's good though. You were able to take care of her.
Yeah, that's all.
So that's more lucrative than Airbnb standard insurance then.
Correct.
Man, and how's that even work? Like, what do you pay for it? Because, obviously if you have Airbnb standard insurance, you're not paying, like, you're not going to get loss of rent from Airbnb. So, but Proper will give that to you. How's that even work? Is there a month investment? 100 a month, okay.
100 a month on a house, and they just make sure that no squatters, no anything. So you could kind of just make sure that your house is secured throughout your entire booking.
Yeah.
Sometimes Airbnb won't cover you if your house is if they're squatters. What could they do? Just call the cops and you have to figure it out yourself. But Proper, they'll just kind of take care of it. They're like, all right, you have a squatter. They'll count the days. If they're there for 2 months, they'll pay you off for 2 months worth of pay. And you run everything through AirDNA or whatever, the analytics, and then you just pop that to Proper Insurance through email, and they'll just like, all right, cool, you're supposed to make $12,000 this month. It's just get a check for $12,000.
That's crazy. So your worst case scenario, like a new host would be like, dude, guests could damage my place. I'm not going to be able to rent it, right? And if you have rent or a mortgage due, like that loss of revenue could kill you. But you're essentially getting like market rate, but in Proper's assuming 100% occupancy. So that's actually a best case scenario almost for you. And they're paying you out for damages, right?
Yep.
Like everything's fixed.
I'm not either. Hang on, saying rent's covered, and I still made only like 30K profit.
Crazy. That's crazy. That's a fire clip.
Yo.
Yeah, Prop about it, like sponsored now.
Yeah, they really are. I think they follow me on Instagram.
Hey, let them
They're like, that's a good, all that. So let's go on talk about. Shit's still rolling.
My crazy story, one of my smaller apartments back in Pennsylvania, it was a 1-bedroom apartment. Only fits 6 people. It was late at night at 1 a.m. I got a notification from my minute detector saying there was some noise. So I'm like, oh, probably some guys playing music, no big deal, right? Forgot about it. An hour later, my cleaner texts me. It's like, Raymond, check this out. Send me a picture, send me a video of her on Snapchat stories. Some people were dancing inside my apartment.
No.
They turned my dining table into a beer pong table. Oh, there were girls dancing on top of the bar, the island in the kitchen. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So instantly I told my cleaner, yo, call the cops. It's a completely different state. I live in New York City, so I can't be there. So my cleaner was like, I'll pay you $200. Go there right now, take care of the situation, call the cops, and kick them all out.
Shit.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's a
Man, that's crazy to see him on Snapchat. Getting intel from your cleaner too. I wonder if Snapchat. It's a good cleaner, man. Man, what if the cleaner threw the whole parties? So now she had a party with their friends, and then she's getting paid to shut it down.
It's a whole operation. I was on for 10 more units in that building too.
Hey, after the party?
After a party.
Nobody ever complained?
That's right, man. I didn't complain. I was on for 10 years in the long term.
Yeah. So before Airbnb, I basically worked corporate finance, different companies like Coinbase, Robinhood, Bank of America. Good companies, but it was just like tied to a desk all the time.
Yeah.
Like you got to request time off, X amount of days off per year. That was just not the lifestyle I wanted to live.
How did you get into Airbnb? Like, why'd you start it?
So I got into Airbnb right after the pandemic. I I was living in a duplex, and then my neighbors moved out. I took over the other half of the duplex. That's basically how I started. And I've been scaling it little by little. Why I got started? More freedom of time, more money, obviously.
What would you say is like the biggest pros of running an Airbnb business and the biggest cons so far from your experience?
I think the biggest pros is, I mean, you can scale it pretty quickly. You don't need to put a lot of time into it every week to, you know, have a pretty decent sized portfolio. You're putting maybe like 5, 10, maybe 15 hours a week. And you can make, I mean, math making 7 figures. So off 15 hours a week. And I think the biggest con would be is just like, you got to be prepared for anything to happen. Like all of us got crazy stories, like we just said. You got to kind of just be able to have that mindset where you kind of stay calm if something happens and just figure out a solution. Like, all right, this is crazy, but like, how do I put something in, you know, get past this? You get me? Yeah. What about you? How'd you get started?
Yeah, so
Well, we know before you started.
Yeah. What'd you do before you started?
man, so I joined the Air Force at 17, left my hometown early. I just wanted to leave my hometown as quick as possible. I'm always told everybody as soon as I'm 18, I'm out of here. I'm doing something else. So joined the Air Force, went Air Force Intel, and kind of my whole time in Intel like wasn't for me, right? It's like super cool job. Can't get into it too much, but super cool job. Wanted to do other things. Didn't get selected for like these specialized units. And, you know, at this point I was like, okay, well, I'm going to get out. And I was looking into, you know, like MBAs and that sort of thing, like truly though, like corporate freaking rat race. And then I was like, dude, these guys work, like it sounds good. They're making 150, 200K a year, but they're working 80 hours. I don't want to do that. So I started buying real estate, flipped a couple properties, took advantage of my low down payment loan. So I bought a few houses that way. And then, you know, I met a mentor in the Air Force who syndicated, while he was a master sergeant, syndicated 200 units, right? So multifamily syndications, which I invest in now as an accredited investor. Pretty cool how it goes full circle. But essentially I was going to do that. And I was in a young masterminds group and some lady came in that was doing Airbnb and she was making more than my mentor, but she only had 20 properties. Right. So I was like, oh my God, this Airbnb thing, I don't need 200 properties to make 30, 40 grand a year. I just need like 20 Airbnbs. Or maybe we found out even less depending on the property. So it's like, man, I got to do this because the long-term rentals, I'm going to need like 50 to 100 to like actually have that cash flow. So I bought my first property. It's confused. I flipped stuff, whatever. I probably flipped something, bought my first property for Airbnb. And I just applied pretty much the system that lady taught me in that short 1 hour call. That's why mentorship and masterminds are definitely valuable. She taught me that because I asked her the right question. How do you automate it? She uses Hospitable. How do you adjust prices to make sure you're always profitable? She uses PriceLab. How do you automate your cleaning processes so they can do it for you without you having to text back and forth to cleaners? She used Turno. So I set up those first few things when I set up my property to automate everything, PriceLabs, Hospitable, Turno, and that thing started cash flowing $3,000 to $4,000 a month as soon as I set up. This is like 2022. Freaking, this is a crazy long story, but moved out to California, bought an assisted living business. That failed. The Airbnb back in Florida is still running well. And so I said, okay, well, I need to get out of this assisted living business. This ain't working. So, and I didn't have cash for a down payment for a house. I couldn't save up another 100 grand. So I said, hey, people online talk about this arbitrage thing. I almost was like, I don't understand how it works, right? And like, when you don't understand something and somebody online is telling you they're making money from that, automatically you're like, this is a scam, they're lying, whatever. But I was in the business, so I was able to see, I'm like, okay, if a landlord actually lets me rent this property for $2,000, I can rent it, I can go ahead and sublet on Airbnb for $6,000. So really the only barrier for me was to get a landlord's approval to actually sublet the property. So took the risk, got 4 units, and flew out, set those up, cash flowing from day one. I think, yeah, I mean, cash flow 2 to 3 per unit. So what's that? 8 to 12 grand from day one, ran with it, scaled the portfolio, 20 properties later. Here I am talking to you with like a high school backdrop.
How much do you make now for a year on Airbnb?
We'll be at like 1.5, 1.6 this year.
How old are you?
26.
Damn. I mean, the way I got started was I literally was doing life insurance sales. I got sick and tired of it. 10 hours a day. I'm like, I do not want to talk to old people for the rest of my life. And then I came across a Grant Cardone video and he was interviewing a guy named like Brian Page, who was like the biggest
Oh, I've heard.
Me and my influencer coach in like the Airbnb space like 5 years ago. Saw a video. He talks about how simple this was. I used to think real estate meant like you need 50,000, 100,000 to actually get started. But when he explained arbitrage, I was like, pretty simple. Bought his like $5 book, read it in like a day. And then I bought like different courses, mentorships, got into those, got some help, like learned some basic stuff. And then I got my first property through like a Facebook group, like a turnkey deal. That was my first one. Didn't have a lot of success, but then I like learned the game and learned about it. Got a few more properties in Chicago. Started doing like pretty well. I was making like 10,000 a month profit, like 3 properties in the summer. So like, all right, this is pretty legit. And like I learned how to automate it. And then short story, like 3 years later, almost had 20 properties, almost 80, 90,000 a month. So
Solid. And you said you just went on Facebook groups.
yeah, I found my first deal to a Facebook group.
Yeah,
Randomly.
and everybody truly like thinks it's super hard to find properties.
It's not.
There's literally Facebook groups where where people are posting like 30 approved properties for Airbnb.
It's very resourceful. You'll figure yourself out.
Yeah, and you don't got to be successful in the first one. It's about
You just learn
it's a numbers book. You just basically
you just gotta like start, and then once you like learn something, it's like you can develop the skills to like get better at it.
it's like anything. You're not really good one. You just but you just got to be like willing to kind of start and suck a little bit.
Yeah.
and kind of believe in yourself to figure it out.
How'd you get started?
Well, I was in college. Well, I was doing before college. I was in high school, just doing reselling, hustling. Well, not really a business, just my day to day, going to drops, reselling Supreme, Nike, Jordans.
There you go.
No, basic reseller. And it's funny. One day I was just randomly doom scrolling in college, and I was so bored. Saw this guy talking about Airbnb. I'm like, Airbnb.
Barbara was the guy.
Hamza. And I didn't know who this guy was, but he was talking about how he was picking up 40, 50 units at a time, not doing anything, not even owning the units. He just rented off some somebody, furnished units, spent $10,000 per unit, and he was making $1,000 profit per unit. I'm like, wow, that's pretty passive. So I checked it out, got my first unit, bought the scores got his first unit, and after a few weeks, landed 4 units and started doing it, and it was pretty good.
Nice.
Well, what would you say is like the biggest pros from the business that you learn, and the biggest cons?
Well, not everything's fully passive. You still have to handle those 2 things, but having a team behind it, managing the day-to-day, definitely makes life much easier.
What about stars? Like, what do you hate about it?
Cons, I would say,
The Aussies.
yes, the guess. Nah, like that artists are in pattern recognition. Like I see in Australia, which guests are not good, which ones are good. I learned to filter out based on
How to vet your guests. Yeah, here's one thing. What's your biggest red flag for a guest on Airbnb? I'll start. Mine's poor grammar. If you can't put together a proper sentence or like have the courtesy to say, hey, good morning when you text me at 4 a.m. asking a question.
Yeah.
Those are always the worst guests because they're disrespectful. They don't even have the respect to like say good morning or something to like start off their text.
Or
there's no punctuation.
When I know I'm going to have a bad guess is when they ask like 3 questions and then they end the last question with, would you mind doing a discount?
That's literally those discounts. You're asking for a discount at the gig. That's probably their bad guess, and they're gonna give you a headache.
They ask 3, 4 questions and they're like, we're a healthcare worker, military worker. Can you give us a discount?
And we're veterans. Do you give a military discount? Hell no, because it's always like the wife or dependent asking. Like people who actually serve and do the hard shit, they're not asking for discounts all over the place. They're not. They're not. It'll be like the wife's maybe. Like,
You know what the best thing to say is it's already a discount, brother.
that's what it's a discount already applied. We say like,
But this reflects very invest rates for like the high quality amenities.
You're already actually gonna get the 20% discount. Because automatically they're military.
You're like, if you want the Motel 6, go ahead.
I can always tell about guests by the booking price easily.
Sometimes.
well, yeah, if it's $25 a night, what you expect?
But even the mid bookings too.
No, but you get a mix too, right? Like, so some guests like pay so much and they expect like some every analytics and they want every detail to be perfect, and you have the same thing.
I'm like, don't have grace. It's like I found a piece of hair on a car bear. I'm like,
Actually, on the contrary, I realized guests who actually pay more, they're less of a hassle. Yeah, they don't request that much.
I've seen that
because they're busier
in general.
busier making.
They have life going on every day.
I've seen that.
Still.
But we'll still get bad ones at the high price points.
Sometimes.
Yeah, because sometimes they just expect too much. But I guess that's important too, even in your listings, right? Like under promise, over deliver type of thing.
Yeah.
That's why I like some of my places when like we're getting a lot of guests actually complaining. We had to do this at one place when we first listed it. Bro, it's so good in the photos, so good. And all of our first guests are complaining. I'm like, okay, clearly this place is not as nice as the photos. So I had to like dumb down the photos a little bit, unfortunately.
So I was working my corporate job and I was making $4,000 a month at the time. And after expenses, I'd save like $2,000 a month. And I saved up to 20K. I'm like, this isn't the way it's looking. Like, how the heck am I going to take care of my family and myself? 2K a month, you know? I have 20K saved up. What am I going to do? I was 22 at the time. When I had 20K saved up, I'm like, do I go put this on the down payment on a house and have tenants and just have some cash flow? And then I'm on Instagram and I see my bud post an Excel sheet with profit and loss and all this stuff. And I'm like, what are you doing? I went to the same college as him. He told me it's Airbnb arbitrage. He just rents out a place for 2K, spends furniture for 5K, and that he profits the rest after the business is operating. I'm like, I don't need to put like 20K down everything that I saved up for the last year on a house and get tenants and get 2K a month for. You know, after property taxes, all that crazy stuff, I could just do Airbnb. So I got my first property after 8 months of cold calling because I had a crazy market, right? And then after my first property, after 8 months, it was so worth it. I profited the first month, second month, and third month. And after third month, I scaled to two more Airbnb units. I was at 3. And then by the end of the first year on my own, I was making like 60K revenue alone. So everything worked out when I started B&B arbitrage, honestly. And yeah, after like 2 years of operating on 2 companies with B&B, and yeah, it was just the way it just changed my life and just be able to afford so many different things for myself, even friends if I need to, or even my family. Like right now, and there's levels to this thing in life, I could just take care of a lot of things that I wasn't able to with a freaking corporate job. It's not enough. 2K a month, and most people, even if they're making 10K a month, at the end of the day, you could get cut any day. Your business, you can't get cut. You know, you can control how much you want to make or how much you want to take.
Yeah. Well, you gotta have a strong mind to run a business too. It's all about accountability. Yeah. Right. That's all you. You gotta show up every day.
Yeah.
If you don't want to show up or you don't have the systems to shit get on a show up, shit gets bad. I'll see it honestly. Like my systems are pretty good, but every time I travel and kind of do my own thing crap, I come back, and that's kind of what I was doing right now. Got right work OZO. I'm like, hold on, I got a couple work orders to go in, a couple SOPs to update, because like.
And you were talking about time earlier or something like that. I forgot someone. Yeah. But literally the whole day I was with y'all. I was literally working like my Airbnb company. The second one's like per y'all around. I'm just tweaking little things here and there. Bookings are coming in, and I'm making money while doing fun stuff with you guys. So I'm working in the background, like what, 10 minutes while I'm on my phone. That's it. Rest, chill with y'all. Another 20 minutes maybe. That's it.
Yeah.
You split add all that up. That's like what, maybe 3 hours a day. Not even.
Maybe 3 hours, like 5 minutes.
And that's, I want to put 3 hours. You know.
Yeah.
Like I want.
But I mean, how do you like the guests of the night?
Sometimes they're troublesome. Yeah, they're just pussies. But. You know, yeah.
No, I think it's like a cheat code to financial freedom, because it's like the only business that's so cheap to run, so easy to automate, so easy to scale. Like you don't need any crazy qualifications to it. You either need like 10,000 in cash, or you need a 680 plus credit score. You get funded with 0% funding, you know, yeah, whatever you need, right? 30, 50 grand on that. And that all of a sudden gets you 4 or 5 units. And now you have a $10,000 a month cash flow.
And adding on to that, because your cash flow gets so crazy, like you could get approved for anything. Like there's nothing I can't get approved for.
No, right.
First company, the second company, and just even the background I built. Like you doing a business helps you so much.
How much total credit limits do you have at 25?
Oh my God. Like over $500,000.
Oh, let's see. Oh, that's crazy.
Like 510, 520. And that's being generous. Not generous, that's control. Like it's not aggressive.
But
and that's with like 4 credit cards.
A lot of these dumbasses watching, not to call you a dumbass, you're not a dumbass watching, but the rest of the people watching are a dumbass. A lot of people would be like, bro, 500 G's, I'm balling out in the club. But then that same like financial discipline that you use like in your personal life to save up 20 grand, which is very good to save $2,000 a month, you got to apply to business too. Yeah, because you can't get too big of a head. Like you got to keep cash reserves.
Yeah, exactly.
Because in business you take losses.
Yeah,
I'm taking a loss right now. I mean, I got to figure out. Let's we got better cash reserves. Like we got cash reserves. So like a loss comes up, it's gonna be $20,000. That's fine. Like I didn't even bat an eye. I found out in Tokyo. I'm like, I'm good. Like boom, $20,000. Cool. Who do I send a text to? His number's on a screen. But that's because when you play the game of entrepreneurship, you have to make sure you have like somewhat of a defense built up too.
Yeah.
Because if you overspend, I mean, you're just digging yourself into a hole. And like
you have to know the place where you have to be able to abuse that system.
Exactly.
Being their friends at the same time.
Because you can have cash reserves, like you can keep 50, 100 grand, whatever you need to play defense in the bank, like in cash, and then just whenever you're doing another project, you just use the bank's money.
Exactly.
Use the bank's money. You know you're going to profit if your profit margins or whatever they might be, like 50%, right? High margins. That's in this business. Yeah. Profit margins is 50%. Even if the bank's charging you 10%, like it's free money to scale your business. Yeah.
And you get points on top of that too.
And you get points, so free travel all the time.
First class.
Yeah, it's
on deal.
Shout out to Colombia. James, how do you get started?
Okay, so came out high school 17, joined Marine Corps. Hoorah. 2019, I came out that was like during COVID, I think 2019, right? 2020.
Yeah, 2019, 2020.
Yeah, okay.
So you came out during COVID.
Yeah, so right there, that 1 year.
That's around when I started too, yeah.
That 1 year gap, bro, I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. I was just chilling at the crib. I didn't know what was going on. And then a year after, I had my daughter with my girl. No out still. I was confused. I had scared. Yeah, so I was with my parents at the time too. And then afterwards, I decided to do sales. I didn't know how it went, but I tried it at the car sales. I sold a car for about a year and a half. Yo, I was killing it, bro.
My boy was selling Lamborghinis.
Yeah, nah. Mazdas. The Japanese brand. But I was making almost like $160,000 a year.
That's pretty good.
That's fucking.
I was like, oh, sales.
But you were probably spending like hella time at the dealership.
Bro,
right?
12 hours a day and then worked 6 days, sometimes 7 days a week. Like that. Bro, I sell anything. I sell to a blind person if I had to. I'll make that fun.
That's a good skill to learn. And I'm sure you're using it now in your business too, right?
Yeah. It's at the end of the day, it's like, yo, you just got to make this sale happen. Sometimes, feelings don't matter to me. You just got to make that sale. But, and then what was it? I was on TikTok doom scrolling that one night. And I saw someone talking about Airbnb. No free plugs though. But I saw Airbnb. I was like, all right, let me try this because it has something to real estate. And then I started my first house. It was a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom in like Florida, Panama City. It was like, yo,
That's a big house for your first one.
yeah, bro, it was bad. So I had to pay a finder fee, $5K. Rent was $5K, security deposits $5K. It was like almost $20K up front, bro. I was like, yo, what am I doing? I was gonna basically hop on the course, bro. I was like, you want that chance, bro? I was like, what am I doing? I hope this to go right. I put 20K down, and then it was the slowest month too. It was like December, January, February. It was like supposed to be the slowest month for that area.
So you weren't making anything.
No pay at all. So I was probably like 5K's right. So I was in the beginning stages. So 2K. I was probably making 2K profit, bro, total. And so then I was netting 2K. So, well, not net, revenue was 2K. So I was down 3K losses, bro.
3K losses.
Yeah, bro. And I tried to figure out the system by like February. And I was at like, all right, I was at 1K loss now. And then March hit, bro. It was like a whole different league. March, and then I started getting bookings like that. And it was like pricing all the way to like $700-800 a night. And then March was my first profitable month where I made almost like 10K.
That's crazy. Oh, yeah.
That's how it works.
I don't pay off one property.
Yeah, I was like, yo, what's going on, yo? I was like freaking out. Like, yo,
Something broken?
I told my girl, I was like, yo, you see this shit? This shit's crazy right now. I was losing money before. Yeah, my girl was like, she had no faith in me. She was like, yo, you're done. Like, but 20K now, you're cooked. And I was like, nah, I trust, I got this. And then every month was just slow. And then March all the way till June, I was like netting like 5 to 7K.
And that took care of the bad months that you lost.
Yeah.
And then you understood how the game worked.
So that I just down style. I was like, oh shit, I gotta keep doing this now. Yeah, it's like drugs, bro. Once you get addicted, you just want to keep going.
And that's a lot.
Very risky though. Don't take it the wrong way.